What is not possible to call into question is that ISIL, regardless of her cause of death, is responsible for it. This, after all, is the organization that was holding her against her will. That means they are responsible for her safety and her well-being, and they are therefore responsible for her death.
Welcome back to Byline. I'm Brian Lilly. Kayla Mueller was a U.S. aid worker held hostage by ISIS for the last 18 months. On Tuesday, her family was given the tragic news she'd been killed. ISIS, or ISIL as the officials call them, well, they say she was killed when Jordanian fighter jets bombed the place she was being held. But let's be real, we don't believe them. But cause of death aside, and whether or not the U.S. was steadfast in trying to save her, we once again are faced with another example of why are people putting themselves in harm's way. Gavin McInnes joins us now from New York on this. Gavin, 18 months ago, I think that the situation over there looked a lot different. I still, if I was Kayla Mueller's parents, have asked her not to go, but in the end, it was her choice.
Yeah, no one's saying it should be illegal, but is it smart? I mean, it always seems to be happening in Aleppo. I think that's the biggest city in Syria. If you Google image Aleppo, you'll see what hell on earth looks like. Why are these people going to hell? I don't understand it. If it's to help the poor, we got plenty of poor here. Go to Northern Ontario. There's plenty of people who need your help.
Well, like I said, she was, there's some facts on her. 26-year-old from Prescott, Arizona. She went before we knew what ISIS was really all about, when it was a civil war zone where, she thought, hey, let's go help people that are suffering. It's not uncommon. This has happened in wars throughout the years. What hasn't been common in past wars is that one of the factions will kidnap aid workers and then execute them. This is a new fact at play.
Well, the Middle East has been in the dark ages for a very long time, since about 1979. And it's become so common, these people getting kidnapped or getting into trouble, I'm starting to get dubious. And it's not just ISIS. Look at Dr. Kent Brantley. He went down to Africa to introduce Christianity to the heathens, and he got Ebola. What are you doing there? Did you want to get Ebola? I'm starting to think these people want to become martyrs. This woman now is a god. She's a saint. And I'm starting to get suspicious of these people. Like James Foley, for example, who was beheaded by John the Beetle. He'd already been kidnapped. Then he escaped, and then he went back? What?
President Obama is commenting on this and coming out a bit stronger. Here's what he was telling, I believe it was BuzzFeed, of all places.
But I don't think it's accurate, Ben, to say that the United States government hasn't done everything that we could. We devoted enormous resources and always devote enormous resources to freeing captives or hostages anywhere in the world.
All right, so there's a lot of resources, which puts me in mind of the people that do go backcountry skiing. You're warned that it's dangerous, and you still go. Look, I don't know why Kayla Mueller went, but is her home country responsible for getting her out of what she knew at least was going to be a dangerous place, even if the situation changed between August 2013 and, say, 12 months or 6 months ago?
Absolutely not. This is not the Archduke of Ferdinand. We're not starting a world war on some random stranger who went there on her own accord. Sorry, that's part of the deal. And if you go extreme mountain climbing, then we're not spending $1 million of resources and risking our lives to go find you. You're going to have to freeze to death. And you see these bodies when you climb Mount Everest. They're still there, frozen, locked in there. You know what you're getting into. And that's why I'm screaming, what were you doing? Like David Haynes, the Scotsman who was also abducted in Aleppo, he had kids at home. I mean, it's downright negligent.
That I really don't get. Why was she going? Well, I think we've got a clip of Kayla Mueller herself explaining why she headed off to Syria.
I am in solidarity with the Syrian people. I reject the brutality and killing that the Syrian authorities are committing against the Syrian people. Because silence is participation in this crime, I declare my participation in the Syrian sit-in on YouTube.
So she was even saying she supported those fighting against the Assad regime. That would include ISIS. That didn't matter to them. She was an infidel.
You know the crucial term that she just said? I reject. We have given these people so much hubris that they think they can go in there. They think they're gods, and they convert to Islam, and they think that they can just solve the problem like Moses. They can just part the seas. Like Theo Padnos was this failed writer who thought, I'm going to go figure out the Arab world. He goes down there, he gets abducted after converting to Islam, kisses their ass the whole time, gets beaten mercilessly, then he's freed and he gets his cover story. And now he's a relevant journalist because he was in their prisoner camp for 2 years. I mean, it's getting to the point now where it's almost farcical.
All right, here's a tweet from Prime Minister Stephen Harper on this. He said, Canada's thoughts and prayers are with the family of Kayla Mueller and our friends and allies in the United States. This awful news is a reminder of ISIL's barbarism and the need to bring their atrocities to an end. Do you agree with that part, at least, that we need to bring their atrocities to an end, or are you on the side of the world should be sitting this out?
I'm on the side of bomb ISIS, blow them up. I'm also on the side of being honest about these savages and letting little girls know that they don't have the power to go over there. Letting the James Foleys of the world know that picking up a Quran is not going to satiate them, okay? The only people who should be going over there should be armed, and they should be creating martyrs, not becoming them.
All right, Gavin, great talking as always. We'll leave it to the audience.